Hello everybody, welcome to MCC Today, the place where dreams come to be fulfilled. On today's show, we have Jessi Beckman, Kelly McKee Long, and myself, Lowell Martin, having a major identity crisis. It's worth a watch.
Meridian Community College. For more than 75 years, we've helped students soar. Establishing the first tuition guarantee program in Mississippi, we put our students first, while creating pathways into the workforce and offering a seamless transition to a 4-year degree. Now is the time to find your purpose and register today, because those who move forward never get left behind. MCC, find your wings.
And we are here with Miss Kelly McKee, one of my favorite people on Meridian Community College's campus. I work with you every day. How are you doing today?
Right. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing phenomenally. Now, it's not Kelly McKee anymore. It is Kelly Long.
Correct.
Because you got married recently. Congratulations.
I did. Thank you.
When will the change of name be official, you hope?
Hopefully soon. In the spring semester, I should be Kelly Long, but you know, I'll still answer to Miss McKee.
Now, you and I have been working together for quite some time now, both
Yes.
within the Language, Literature, and Success Division. But last year got even to where we work even closer together,
Right.
Because you are the coordinator for the English Lab.
Right.
And now, what does that mean? What does the coordinator, what does the English Lab do?
Okay, in the English and Reading Lab, students who take intermediate English, they come once a week and do a lab component for their course, for their English course, and it helps them with grammar and punctuation, helps them with reading skills. During the fall semester this year, we actually did that component online, just as we've done a lot of things online,
Right.
Given our current reality. But typically they would come into the lab for about an hour each week, and I would work with them on any problem areas and so forth. And besides the intermediate English students who were required to come, the English Lab is open to anybody taking any English class at MCC.
Okay.
And they can come in and, you know, with questions about a paper they're working on, or just maybe they know what their problem areas are and they need some help going over a particular grammar point or something like that.
Well, with the prep to comp class that we do, the intermediate English class, we you know, that component that you have, like if they're having difficulty, because a lot of times we notice that students, it's like one or two areas that they're just very weak in, like they just can't get the commas right, or they have subject-verb agreement problems. So you go through all of that, and then you're right there if they have any questions to answer those questions. But in addition to that, intermediate English, Comp 1, Comp 2, any of the literature classes, you are there to help out if they need something. So if they're doing a research paper and they're saying, hey, I'm having trouble with the MLA format.
Right.
You
I
are
can
there.
help them with that. And during the fall semester, I added a new component, which is the online English Lab.
Okay.
It currently, well, it had previously existed for students taking internet classes in English. But this past semester, we I opened that up to any students taking MCC English classes, and what they can do is communicate with me through that. It's a Canvas course. It's not for credit. It's just additional resource that they can use to communicate with me. Maybe they want to say, hey, I'm having trouble with comma splices. Can you suggest some resources to help me review this? And I have those available for them. Students can also submit a paper to the online English Lab site and list questions along with the paper, or maybe highlight certain sentences. You know, I'm not sure about this part right here. maybe they want to know, like you said with the research, did I document my sources correctly?
Sure.
Did I follow MLA format?
Now, I want to stress this point we do not proofread papers.
Right.
Okay, so if they come in and say, I want you to proofread my paper, we cannot do that.
Right, and that's
But
what I was.
we can answer questions.
Right, and that's
Okay.
the point I was fixing to make. On the online site, it would be the same if they came into the lab. If they submit a paper for review, so to speak, I don't want them to think we're just going to check everything, but they can accompany the submission with specific questions, like,
Okay.
will you look at my highlighted sentences and tell me if I use the commas correctly?
Well, I want to explain something very quickly because we probably confused everybody. Because I am in charge of the Student Success Center.
Right.
You are in charge of the English lab.
Right.
But we are together. You are inside the Success
We're
Center.
in the same physical space.
Right. And so when students come into to the Success Center, they can sign in to go to the English lab and to see you.
That's correct.
Okay, so when they come in to sign in, so that's what we mean by coming in and because we're all in there together.
That's correct.
To work.
And I'm glad you pointed that out because also, while you're certainly welcome to walk in and meet with a tutor in the Success Center or with me or another English instructor in the English lab, it's a good idea to call ahead and make an appointment or come by and make an appointment. And that would be done through the Student Success Center front desk.
Right.
Because if you're entering that physical space, whether it's the English lab or the Success lab, you have to check in at the front regardless.
And do you happen to know that number?
I'm not sure.
Okay. I was
Good.
going to give it if you didn't.
Good.
It's 601-481-1341. Okay, to call and make a direct appointment.
I knew the 341, wasn't sure about the first part.
Now,
and
yes.
also that number is, I believe, on the back of everybody's student ID.
Yes, it is.
So,
It is.
You know.
In addition to looking at papers before they're turned in, one thing that you also do is students can bring papers that have already been graded
Yes,
to you. And what do you do with them?
And I'm so glad you pointed that out because that's one of the biggest things is a lot of times students, they don't even know how to look at their graded papers. And even though their teachers have gone over the process of how to do it, sometimes maybe they weren't there that day or they, they forget how to do it. And I can help a student pull up, because most of the grading is done electronically now.
Right.
So instead of just looking at the score, we go in and actually look at the graded paper, look at the comments that the teacher put on the paper, look for a pattern. Like if we say, okay, you lost X number of points because you had pronoun errors. Let's go over that. Let's kind of see how you can avoid those same mistakes on your next paper. So
And that's a big key, is to learn
Right.
what the problem is, because we discussed this the other day, is so often it might just be one comma rule that a
Right.
student doesn't know.
Right.
And because of that comma rule, they might miss 20 or 25 points.
Right.
Simply because they're not using it correctly.
Or something to do with the format or like I say, pronouns or something, or informal language. So many people type like they text or write like they talk, and they just don't realize that they're doing it until it's pointed out. And even though the teacher has pointed it out on the graded paper, sometimes it takes the second person going, hey, you did this like 5 times in your paper. If you had not done that, you would have made a letter grade higher.
Yes.
And so I'm so glad you pointed that out, because many times students come in wanting help with a paper but have not actually looked at any of their graded papers. So we can do all of that.
We can do all of that. Hopefully we're a one-stop shop, and for students to come to get help.
That's right.
As needed. And English is one of the big things, because I've said it many times, because I've been lucky enough to teach some English classes. Many of us did not learn to speak correctly.
That is correct.
Well, listen, and now you said in the spring, we're still planning on continuing the online component of the English lab?
Yes, and I would like to see several, many have taken advantage of that, but I would like to see more participation, hopefully
Yes.
in the spring.
And the hours for the English lab are run concurrent with the hours for the Student Success Center.
That's correct.
Which are, what are those hours?
Monday through Thursday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Friday 8 a.m. till noon.
Thank you so much for being here today, and we're going to talk again in the spring.
Okay, thank you for having me.
We'll be right back.
Since 1996, the MCC Foundation Tuition Guarantee Program has provided students an opportunity to find their potential. Thousands of students have benefited from the program. Over $6 million have been invested in the students who learn and live right here in our community. This program is funded by individuals and businesses who believe in our students, our families, and the economic impact of an education at Meridian Community College. Now is your chance to offer support. Give today at meridiancc.edu/give.
And we have Miss Jessi Beckman here with us today. Welcome.
Hi, I'm glad to be here.
I'm glad you're here. Now, Jessi, you are the Math Emporium Lab Coordinator.
Yes.
Ooh. What does that mean? What do you do?
So I coordinate the math lab,
Okay.
and we're open Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m., and on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. We offer a space for the students to come and work on their math courses, and if they need help, I'm there and I'm available to help them.
Okay. Well, students don't need help with math. What are you talking about?
No.
Everyone is wonderful at math, right?
Right.
Now, so if they're taking do you see primarily like the people who are taking basic math or intermediate algebra rather than college algebra, or a little bit of all of them?
It's a little bit of all of them. We are available to any students enrolled currently in a math course at MCC.
Okay.
The only ones required to come are the ones in enhanced college algebra.
Okay.
And they're required to get 1 hour per week.
Okay. And what is the enhanced algebra class? Isn't that where they can start out with intermediate and work their way through college algebra? Am I correct
Yes,
in that?
they're different. Enhanced is before intermediate.
Okay.
So, if they're not quite there yet to where they can take intermediate, they can take the enhanced, and they can work their way through up to college algebra if they aren't ready yet.
Now, you've been doing this about a year now.
Yes.
What are your thoughts?
How's
it
really
going?
love it.
Good.
Yeah. I started out as a math tutor.
Yes.
In the Success Center.
Yes, working with me, yes.
And it was just so much fun. I did that for 5 years, going
Because
through
you did,
college.
yes, you did, because you were a student here, and then you were a student, you went through university, and you continued to tutor for us.
Yes. And yeah, even when I left MCC, I
Sure.
wanted to keep doing it. And, I just never really got away from it. I love it, and I love helping people, And if I can make a small difference, in just one person's life, I think that's more than worth it.
Well, you're literally across the hall from the Student Success Center, and what do you notice about the students? Are they eager to get help?
I kind of have to circulate sometimes. Some of them will just raise their hand and I can come right over, but sometimes I kind of notice they're looking, but they don't really want to raise their hand. So, we try to encourage them. If you have questions, feel free to come ask. And, if I'm free, I can come and just sit with them and go over it.
But you also have additional people working in the math lab with you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
How many people are working in there right now? Do you
We
know
have
offhand?
we have student workers. So whenever a student comes in, we sign them in, and they need their student ID. So they swipe it, and it logs them in, and then
So we
they
can
also
tell exactly how much time they have spent in the lab.
Yes.
We do the same thing in the Success Center. Yes.
Yes, and when we swipe them out, it'll tell us a log of how much time. So we can tell them, you got your hour today, or you only got 30 minutes, so maybe you should come back another day.
Do students need to make appointments in the math lab to use the math
No,
lab?
there's no need. You can come, if we're open, you can come at any time. So, yeah.
How has the wonderful, spectacular COVID changed
Yes.
how the math lab operates.
That's actually a good point because things are very different. It's a strange time for all of us, and we're getting through it together. So we have it spaced. We have it spaced 6 feet apart, all of the chairs at the desk. So
I remember at the beginning you were like, where do I put all these chairs?
Yes.
that I'm getting out of here?
I removed them, and then I thought, well, I have this huge stack, and where do I put it?
Because you don't want to put it somewhere that someone's going to take it and you never see them again.
Right.
We had the same problem in the Success Center.
Yes.
Okay, but in addition to spacing,
We also require that everyone who enters wear a mask, which is the MCC policy
It is.
for campus.
and I noticed some plexiglass.
Yes, we have plexiglass on our desks, so it's very safe and secure for both the students and the student workers who are at the front desk. And we encourage everyone to socially distance, as best they can. I wipe down all of the desks anytime, if a student sat there that day, I wipe it down really well, because I think it's our responsibility to
yes.
do everything we can, and if each person does as much as they can, then,
Well, this goes back to what you were saying about if you can just help one person. And sometimes, what we're doing as far as washing our hands or wearing masks, this is our helping more than one person. We're helping multiple people stay safe
Yes.
and be able to go home and, interact some, with some precautions, interact well. Now, in the spring, do you anticipate your hours being the same?
I would anticipate they'd be the same.
So it's 8 to 3.
Monday through Thursday, and then 8 to 12 on Fridays.
Okay. And students, any student in any math course here at Meridian Community College can come to you and can come do their work there, because in most classes there is some type of Canvas component. Do you actually help the upper level students?
If I'm capable, yes. Some of the higher level calculus, maths, and those things, they may need to plan a time to meet with their instructor, which they have. All of the instructors.
Or come across
Or
the
come
hall.
for tutoring, yes, in the Success Center.
Yeah.
And we coordinate
Wow,
very well.
how fortuitous.
Yes, and so it just depends on the course, and they can always meet their instructor in the math lab too if they want, if they have a time set up.
Have students been pretty much adhering to the rules we've set because of COVID? Have you noticed that pretty much they're doing what they should be doing?
Yes, I have been very inspired by how hard the students have worked, not only on their courses, but wearing a face mask and being respectful of spacing, and all of those things, wiping down. We provide them wipes, so they can use a wipe to wipe down their desk before they sit down, and then one before they leave. So they've been very diligent.
We've had no major, in the Success Center, we've had no major issues, no one getting angry, no, I'm not going to wear a mask, or I'm not going to, I've been very pleased.
Me too.
Because and I've said this, you and I have spoken about this before, look, this is the situation we've been given. Let's all kind of get through this if we can.
Right.
So, and help as many students as we possibly can. It's not the
Yes.
best situation for anyone, but it's what we've got.
We can get through it together.
Now, when you, if a student wants to call, and I know you say you don't have, you don't make appointments, but if a student needs to call and maybe ask some questions, can they do so?
Yes, they
And
can.
what number would they need to call?
Okay, it's 601-481-1377.
Okay, but they do not need an appointment to come and use the math lab. However, they run the risk of coming in and there not being space available.
Right, it's good to call ahead, but we haven't had many issues. They've spread out pretty well over the course of the week.
Okay.
So,
I want to have you back in the spring because we're going to have to talk about and see how things are running in the spring, and hopefully they're running as well in the math lab as they are in the Success Center.
definitely, I would love that.
We'll be right back.
Are you searching for something new? Then Meridian Community College is the place for you. With over 52 career and technical pathways, you can move straight into the workforce in 2 years or less. Get hands-on experience in welding and electrical technology, or go digital in graphic design and media production. You'll discover many opportunities for a new career at a fraction of the cost. Reskill now. Become essential at Meridian Community College. Register today at meridiancc.edu.
And welcome back to MCC Today. And looks a little different here. I'm now Matt Milner. I'm going to interview the host of MCC Today, Lowell Martin, who happens to be the director of the Student Success Center here at MCC. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about what the Student Success Center is.
Well, the Student Success Center is that place that students can come and be successful. Now, what does that mean? It means that they can come and use our computers if they need to. They can come and print materials if they need to. They can come and study if they need to. With recently, some recent changes, we're more online testing. They can actually come in and take tests in the Student Success Center if they want to. But the biggest thing about the Student Success Center is the tutoring. We actually have live human tutors for free. And we tutor students in English and math primarily, and the math can go from basic math to intermediate algebra all the way up to Cal 3. And then the English, we will help from beginning with intermediate English all the way up to any of the, World Lit 1 and 2, English Lit 1 and 2, American Lit 1 and 2, helping if someone needs help with a research paper doing the MLA format or anything like that, they come to us. We also have tutors who can help with chemistry, with physics, with A&P, with Spanish. So,
can they help me set my fantasy football lineup?
No.
No, not that. So you talked about you have live tutors and everything.
Yes.
With the COVID world, have we done anything to try and help online students with their tutoring, or is that available anywhere?
Well, we have a part of the Success Center, the English Lab within the Success Center, and they have an online component to the English portion of it. Now, we do not have online for the other tutoring, but what we have all of our chairs are spaced out appropriately. We have dividers between our tables. We have masks and the shields
Yes.
to wear, and actually we have whiteboards that students can be writing problems on for the tutors can write the problems on for the students and still be able to maintain that distance when we have lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of sanitizer and hand wipes. They're everywhere.
So are students still taking advantage of the Student Success Center this semester with everything that's going on?
Actually, surprisingly, yes. We have had a large number of students come in and use the Success Center. I've been very pleased with that. And we've also been able to stay safe and stay healthy because we do a lot of COVID tracing. We have a lot of study halls. A lot of athletes, teams come in for study halls. And even though we've had some teams that were quarantined, we were able to stay safe because of all of the precautions that we're taking.
All right, so obviously you really want to just use every resource to your advantage at the Student Success Center, but if I'm a student, I'm like, I don't know if I really want to risk it or any of that. Why use the Student Success Center? How much does it help that student get to pass that next grade?
Okay, I say this all the time because I also teach a class called College Study Skills, but I like preventing fires rather than putting out fires. So I tell students all of the time, if you are not the strongest person, and we know a lot of students who don't feel very strong in math, or they don't feel very strong in English. So come and get help before you fail the first test. But absolutely, if you do make a grade on a test that you are not pleased with, come to us. Come and see us and let us help you. It is available. It is completely free of charge. As long as you have your student ID, you are in. And there is no reason not to.
Doesn't sound like there is. If
And
it's
as
free.
soon- yeah, and we've noticed a lot of students, we've helped a lot of students get through math, because a lot of the programs require at least college algebra. And let's face it, some students, they have very bad math anxiety.
Yes.
And so they can come in, and we have some excellent tutors that can sit down with them and go one-on-one and work through those homework problems. And we're not going to do it for you, but we are going to do everything in our power to make sure that you succeed.
So with the new semester coming up, you're normally right there at the forefront with all the new students that come in. What's one of the biggest things that you tell them the first time you meet them?
Start strong. Okay? Set aside a specific time during the day and during the week to study. Socializing is wonderful, but remember the main reason that you're here is to get an education. And once you have that piece of paper saying that you can be a nurse or hotel restaurant management or industrial maintenance, believe me, you'll be making decent money, and you'll be able to do a lot more socializing and a lot more for your family then. So sometimes things have a trade-off, but be honest with yourself as far as your studying, how you've done in the past. One of the biggest things that people have trouble with, they say, is procrastination, putting things off. Or they'll also say that they didn't have any trouble in high school. Oh, and they didn't have to do any studying, and suddenly they're in college, and what gives? And one of the biggest things I find myself saying is college is different from high school. And you cannot get by with putting things off until the last minute. It might work once or twice, but when you get to that negotiating with God, please let me, please just let me make a C. No, if you just get in the habit of doing things on time or early, you will reduce your stress levels, you will increase your grades, and make everyone around you very happy.
All right, before we let you go, tell us those hours for the Student Success Center.
We are open from 8 in the morning until 6 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and 8 to noon on Friday. You can call to make an appointment at 601-481-1341.
All right, we thank you for being a part of the show on the other side, and he'll be happy to come back over here in the new semester when we have a whole lot more people come in to tell us their stories and what's going on. And we thank you guys for watching. We'll be right back.
Become essential at Meridian Community College. Our community is changing, and at MCC, we are built for those who want to serve. Being essential has kept our community going. You can become that here, all at an affordable cost. Whether you dream of helping people through healthcare services or want to transport goods, connecting people with the products they need, we have many unique opportunities to help you find your purpose. Don't wait for change. Be the difference and register today. Become essential at Meridian Community College.
On behalf of executive producer Matt Milner, media consultant Josh Taylor, and student producers Jabrisha Rush and Dorothy Taylor, thank you so much for watching. Hope you learned something.